Good morning, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. This is IMAX Sports, another football video, and today I'm going over my NFL 100 list, episode 9, number 20 through 11. I've been doing this series for 9 weeks now, and this is the second to last video I'm doing. After this one, I'm going to have the last video, which is the top 10, and then I'll release a video with the entirety of the list. The list is subject to change from what my original list was, because there are some players that I missed, and there are some players that with a list of 100 players, I got a couple mistakes in there. So I'm going to make a refined 100 list where I just go every couple of seconds I'll change it. But this is the second to last video of the descriptions of why I have players in each position. I only had 19 players for this one, so I took in one of the players from last week's. The number 21 person bumped him up to number 20. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So first on the list, like I said, is Julio Jones. I talked about why he was on this list last week, and why he was this high. So he's been a phenomenal player his entire career. He's one of the most consistent receivers in the league, and he's just overall a great player. At number 19, we have Myles Garrett. In 2020, Myles Garrett had 2 passes defended, 4 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, 12 sacks, 48 tackles, and 10 tackles for a loss in 14 games. He was number 6 in the league in sacks and number 3 in the league in forced fumbles. He's a 2-time Pro Bowler and 2-time NFL 100 team player at number 49 and number 80. And he's a 1-time All-Pro selection this season. And he has 36 sacks in his last 40 games. He's one of the best defensive ends in the league, if not the best defensive end in the league when Aaron Donald is playing DT. And he just went off this year. He was the sack leader for a while until he got injured. And he's had some injuries, but other than that, Myles Garrett is one of the strongest defensive players in the NFL. Another one of the strongest defensive players in the NFL is Tyreek Matthews, a safety for the Kansas City Chiefs. This season he had 9 passes defended, 6 interceptions, a touchdown, a fumble recovery, 62 tackles, 3 tackles for a loss. He was number 3 in the league for interceptions. He's a 2-time Pro Bowler, 2-time NFL 100 team player at number 28 and number 39 in the last 2 seasons. Not the last 2 seasons, I think those were 2016 and 2020. He's a 3-time All-Pro, and Tyron is one of the most consistently good safeties in the NFL. This is his second season being selected to the Pro Bowl and the All-Pro team. The last time he did that was 2015. Last year he was an All-Pro, and this year he was Pro Bowl and All-Pro. He gets a lot of picks. He got 6 this year, which is an impressive mark to beat. And Tyrann Mathieu is just overall a very strong player, and he's worked really well with Kansas City. Number 17, we have Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara this season had 187 carries for 932 yards and 16 touchdowns. He also had 83 catches for 756 yards and 5 receiving touchdowns for a total of 21 touchdowns. He was number 9 in rushing yards, number 2 in rushing touchdowns, number 1 in scrimmage touchdowns, and number 3 in scrimmage yards. He has 4 Pro Bowl selections, 0 All-Pro selections, but he has never missed a Pro Bowl in his career. He's a 3-time NFL 100 team selection at number 20, number 14, and number 42, and he is the best running back in the NFL at what he does. He's never had an 1,000-yard season, but there's no other player in the NFL that does what Alvin Kamara does. He is so consistently good, both running and receiving. He gives the offense that extra depth that it needs on the Saints team, and he's just a phenomenal player overall. At number 16, we have DeAndre Hopkins. Hopkins this season had 115 catches for 1,407 yards and 6 touchdowns. He was number 2 in receptions and number 3 in receiving yards. He's a 5-time Pro Bowl selection, a 3-time All-Pro selection, and a 4-time 100 NFL team selection, 2016 as well as 2018 through 2020. He was ranked 19, 13, 11, and 8, with 2017 being the only gap in those years. He's one of the most dominant forces in the NFL, and he'll be hungry in 2021. Especially with Larry Fitzgerald gone. He'll be getting more touchdowns, he'll be getting more yards, he'll be getting more everything. And at number 15, we have Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey this season had 59 carries for 225 yards and 5 touchdowns, as well as 17 receptions for 149 yards and a touchdown. He only played 3 games, but he averaged 125 yards a game and 2 touchdowns per game, which is a very impressive mark. He's a one-time Pro Bowler and a one-time All-Pro selection, and a 2-time NFL 100 team selection, number 42 in 2019 and number 6 in 2020. I have a number 15 for 2021 because he did have an injury this year. I can't put him a lot higher than number 15 because there are players that have phenomenal seasons, but I think anything lower would be a disrespect to how he's played the last 2 seasons. He's going to do phenomenally if he stays healthy during the 17-game season. At number 14, we have Bobby Wagner, an inside linebacker for the Seattle Seahawks. Bobby Wagner has been a dominant force for the Seahawks since he joined the team 9 years ago. In those 9 years, he's had 7 Pro Bowl appearances, 6 All-Pros, and 5 NFL 100 team appearances. Number 69, 39, 21, 15, and 13. This year, he had 8 passes defended, 1 forced fumble, 138 tackles, and 7 tackles for a loss. He was number 7 in the league for total tackles, and with his skill set, with his notoriety, and with his just overall ability, I think 14 is a fantastic spot for Bobby Wagner. He's unquestionably the best inside linebacker in the NFL and has consistently played at a top level for 7 years in a row. Bobby Wagner is a fantastic player, and I'm excited to see what he does next year. At number 13, we have Xavier Howard. Howard this season had 20 passes defended and 10 interceptions, as well as 1 forced fumble, 51 tackles, and a tackle for a loss. This season he had a pass rating of 48.3 when targeted. He had 1 pass. He was number 1 in passes defended and number 1 in interceptions. He's a 2-time Pro Bowl selection, 1-time All-Pro, and he made the 100 team in 2019 at number 55. He missed it in 2020 because he didn't play enough games, but in his past 49 games, he's had 49 passes defended, averaging 16 in a 16-game season. And he had the most interceptions this year in a single season since Champ Bailey had 10 in 2006. I don't know when the last time someone had 11, but it's been 14 years since someone had 10, and that's an impressive mark to beat. Xavier Howard is the strongest corner in this league right now, and I think that he can continue that reputation next season. At number 12, we have Deshaun Watson. 382 of 544 this season for 4,823 yards and 33 touchdowns with just 7 interceptions. He has a quarterback rating of 112.4. He was number 1 in yards, number 7 in touchdowns, and number 2 in quarterback rating. He had 444 rushing yards and 3 rushing touchdowns on top of that. And this was his 3rd Pro Bowl appearance in 4 seasons in the NFL. He's a 3-time NFL 100 team selection at number 50, number 51, and number 20. And he's one of the best young quarterbacks in the league. He hopefully finds a team that he can play for. Hopefully the Texans trade him because I don't think he deserves to be on the Texans. He deserves a much stronger team around him. The Texans are getting rid of all their best players, and they haven't quite gotten rid of him yet. So I hope that he finds a team that deserves his form of talent. And I think that he'll definitely be joining the 5,000-yard list next season with the 17-game season. Last but certainly not least on this list, we have number 11, Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook this season had 321 carries for 1,557 16 touchdowns and 44 receptions for 361 yards and 1 touchdown. He was number 2 in rushing yards, number 2 in rushing touchdowns, and number 9 in rushing yards per attempt. He's a 2-time Pro Bowl selection, 2020 NFL 100 team selection, number 21. And he's had a career riddled with injuries so far, but he excels to the max whenever he plays. Dalvin Cook has been in the league for 4 years, just like many other players on this list, such as Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara, Deshaun Watson, and I believe Myles Garrett as well. I believe that this list has a lot of 4-year players on it. He's a phenomenal player. He's one of the best pure rushers in the league. Alvin Kamara and Christian McCaffrey both catch a lot of footballs, but Dalvin Cook is the second best pure rusher, in my opinion, in the league, and that's why I have him above both of those other players. That being said, the Vikings are going to have a really strong offense. If they can get a defense together, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. And I think that Dalvin Cook has a chance at a 2,000-yard season in this new 17-game era. So, thank you guys for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace.